All right. Welcome, everyone, to the fall wave highlights. So 2025 wave 2 highlights for D365 F&SCM. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we get started here. There will be a copy of the recording available after the event. We are going to take some time for questions and answers, so feel free to post them in the chat and we'll get back to you. And then at the end, we do have a survey for you. We'd love to hear any feedback that you have so that we can make these relevant to the information that you're looking for. So let's just dig right in. And before we get going, my name is Joe Tews. For anyone that I haven't met before, I'm a pre-sales architect here at Stoneidge Software. I've been in the F&SCM space now for about 13 years. Focus on a lot of different areas, but really just knowing all there is to know about D365 F&SCM. And as a part of my role, I get to know all of the cool, fun, new features that are coming out, and that's what I'm excited to share with you here today. So I thought we'd take things in a little bit different direction than maybe what we've done in the past, and I was trying to go through and figure out, okay, what are my favorite features? What features should we take care of? And I'm at first I'm like, let's just take a look at everything, but there is just so much new in the Wave 2 release that I figured I would take it down to my top 10. So for those of us old enough to remember Letterman's top 10, we've got a top 10 new features in D365 F&SCM. A little bit different. I've divided it off into my finance features and my supply chain features, but nonetheless, these are my favorite features in F&SCM. So on the finance side of things, we're going to talk about some of the business performance improvements. We're going to talk about some of the accounting rules for the new journal framework that's coming up. We're going to talk about account reconciliation agent enhancements. And we're going to talk about some bank account lifecycle management and fixed asset improvements. And then on the supply chain side of things, there's some cool new agentic features that are coming out, specifically around optimizing placement of on-hand inventory. There's some improvements in demand forecasting, as well as planning optimization improvements, the ability to calculate prices and discounts, and then some warehouse management improvements. So with that, let's dig in. We've got 10 new features to talk about here. So let's take a look at D365 Finance first. First of all, there are a lot of business performance improvements. So for those of you who are not quite sure or unaware, Microsoft has made a big investment into our version of an FP&A solution. So that is business performance analytics and then the business performance planning. So you've got the planning and the analytics components of it. But within the business performance suite itself, so encompassing BPA and BPP, there are quite a number of improvements this go around. And these are actually only 4 of them. If you look on the Wave 2 site, which I'll give you a link at the end of this presentation here, there's actually like 7 or 8 improvements coming to BPA. So I just figured I would pull out some good ones here real quick. Quick start templates. So instead of just having to go into your data and start from scratch configuring cubes, dimensions, and those reports manually, which if you've never configured a cube before, it is a daunting task. Our finance teams now can immediately experience planning by selecting a business planning area. And in this initial release, which is generally available, so GA generally available in November of 2025, we're going to start with just OpEx, but there will be more added to it. But if you choose OpEx for your quick start template, the system is going to automatically generate all of the required model, or generate the required model and then connect to a pre-built Power BI app. So you can start planning in minutes. You can start doing your proof of concept. Basically, you can take it from weeks down to just a couple of clicks to get OpEx reports up and running. On the generative help side of things, obviously Copilot's got to make an appearance here. But with the help of Copilot, users are going to be able to get assistance without leaving the business performance analytics tool. So users can ask Copilot questions and Copilot will understand the application itself and be able to give you answers based on what you are seeing in the business performance analytics tool. That is coming generally available in October of 2025. So when you throw the latest update on 10.045, you will be able to turn on that feature. There is a new model builder coming that's going to help simplify the design and the maintenance of our data models. It's also going to give us more of that Microsoft consistent interface. If you haven't played with the business performance planning tool, doesn't really look and feel like a Microsoft tool. So that's where this next gen builder is coming in. That's coming generally available October of 2025. And then more frequent data refreshes. So right now, we can only get twice per day data refreshes. And that is just to keep less stress on the system. And this is information that we don't necessarily need at a glance. But now we can start making more decisions because we are getting hourly data refreshes. So from once every 12 hours to hourly now. The preview for that is coming in November of 2025, and then that feature will be generally available coming up in December. All right. So the second new feature, the accounting rules for the new journal framework. We're going to discuss this a little bit in a future slide here, but just know there is a new journal framework coming. Not in wave 2, but coming in the future. It's not going to be required, but it is something that is going to be a lot simpler of a process from a journal framework standpoint. So with that, they are setting the stage for that. So there are some new accounting rules for this new journal framework. This is going to give us a single setup page for creating and maintaining posting accounts to use for general ledger entries. It's also going to give us greater traceability of those postings to maintain an audit trail for the posting rule that's used on a transaction. And then we'll also get versioning of those posting rules. This feature is going to be in public preview in November of 2025. There's no GA date yet, but it is coming as a preview feature in November of 2025. So be on the lookout for that in your future management workspace. The third new feature here is the account reconciliation agent. If you happen to catch my F&SCM in focus in September, we went through setting up the account reconciliation agent. I believe Bree will throw a link in the chat if you haven't caught that yet and you want to go back and view that previous episode. But there are some enhancements coming to the account reconciliation agent, including the functionality for recommending what action to take to address the exception for additional exception types. So in previous versions, if it was a real simple exception, the agent could tell you this is what you should do. But in the example that I usually go through, when the ledger and the subledger don't mix or don't meet, it doesn't really give you an example or a recommendation on what to do there. That is coming with the account reconciliation agent in the future. We are also going to be improving linking scenarios where many ledger transactions link to a subledger entry and many subledger entries link to a ledger entry, or when multiple ledger entries can link to multiple subledger entries. And then finally, something that you won't notice right away, but is coming in the future as part of a longer term vision, the Copilot is going to learn from past solutions and move forward towards automatic resolution. Something that you will be able to control, whether you want to turn that on or not. But basically, we're infusing some machine learning into Copilot so that it can learn what actions you're taking and it can make those suggestions for the future. These new enhancements are going to be in preview starting now, October of 2025. Bank account lifecycle management. This is something that surprisingly hasn't been in the application, but something that is coming down the pike. Basically, we're taking some of the tasks around bank account life cycles, and we're automating, or we're making sure that there's a true life cycle management around it. So things like the approval workflow for bank account activation, modification, deactivation. We're going to have configurable protected fields to set whether bank account modifications require approval. We can also have approval workflows where the approver can review the proposed changes on the bank account. And we're going to maintain that history for auditing purposes. Generally available in December of 2025. So check your feature management workspace, December of 2025, for the bank account lifecycle management feature. And finally, the application that we're using changed my fonts around, so that's why the improvements looks a little bit weird there. But there are some fixed asset improvements coming in this new release. So we have the ability to split fixed assets, and we are getting better intercompany transfer of fixed assets. So on the split fixed asset side of things, you'll be able to identify the source asset, a destination asset, and when you do that, you are going to be able to maintain the history between the two of them. So greater linkage there. You'll have preview fields that display the asset values before and after the split in accounting and reporting currencies. And you can choose if you want to split it by amount or percentage. This also, with the second part of this, the intercompany transfer, the split can also encompass multiple legal entities. So you can also do a split across legal entities. Preview for this is going to be a little while yet, but preview is coming in March of 2026 with generally available slated for July of 2026. Something that is coming a little bit sooner, though, is the intercompany transfer. So this just allows you to transfer assets between your legal entities, copies the asset data from the entity that it's in now to the destination entity. And it allows you to automate posting acquisition and destination or disposal journals for your destination asset and for your source asset. Preview for this is coming in December of 2025, and GA is slotted for March of 2026 for that one. So those are my top 5 finance new features coming in D365 Wave 2. Now, what's new in D365 Supply Chain Management? So 5 new features that are coming in supply chain management. The first one is another cool application of Copilot. So there's been quite a few, or a couple of different agents that have been coming into D365. And one that is going to be coming up here with a public preview in March of 2026 is the optimized placement of on-hand inventory. Utilizing Copilot, D365 Supply Chain Management can now include autonomous demand analysis as well as intelligent reslotting in your warehouse. And basically what's happening behind the scenes is the system is going to continuously analyze data and automatically adjust the warehouse layouts so that all of your high demand items are always in the most accessible locations. This is going to help us reduce pick times, increase output or outbound throughput, and then also help teams respond faster to demand shifts as well as a seasonality pattern. And you can kind of see here a little bit of a preview of what this page is going to look like. Basically, the Copilot is going to, or the agent is going to be able to pick out what needs to happen and give you these suggestions and allow you to act on them. So really cool what is coming here in the optimization agent. Preview for this is coming in March of 2026, so right towards the end of Wave 2 here. There are some new demand planning capabilities that are coming in D365. So generative insights within our demand planning basically allows us to use Copilot to help identify patterns. If you've ever tuned into one of Scott Frapier's confabs, he does a great job of explaining exactly what agents do, what Copilot does. And one thing that they are fantastic at is identifying patterns. So having an agent in our demand planning to identify these patterns is just really a great application of Copilot in D365. So really what this is going to do is it's going to cluster our data dynamically and allow us to make better decisions to optimize our inventory and also to reduce our costs from overstocking. We also have a new metric with the general available in January, trends. So we're going to be able to utilize our demand forecasting for trends. So if we have high trending items, medium trending, if things are relatively flat, or if we even notice declining sales, we're going to be able to notice and spot those trends a little bit sooner in advance. GA for this feature is slotted for January of 2026. We are also getting support for multiple signals. So right now, you can kind of choose what you want to pull into your demand planning, whether it be D365 data or any other time series data. But we're going to introduce new input signals such as inflation, weather data, all these really cool things that can have a huge impact on our demand. So support for that. We're also getting a couple of new forecasting algorithms, naive and cross-trend. And we also are going to extend our time freeze functionality that's seen in planning optimization into our demand planning. We also will then be able to utilize promotion planning if you want to see the effects of different promotions on your items. GA for these features is slotted for March of 2026. We also have some planning optimization improvements. This one is probably the thing that I am most excited for because it brings us to full feature parity with the deprecated MRP engine. So MRP in D365 is the old planning engine. Planning optimization is the new one. And if you haven't moved off of MRP yet, now is actually a great time to start looking at moving to planning optimization because we now have full feature parity. And we have full feature parity with 3 new features that are coming in December of 2025. So lean manufacturing, this is a big one. If you are utilizing lean manufacturing, you had to stay on the deprecated MRP product. That is now coming to planning optimization in December. Catch weight, if you were using catch weight items, you had to be on the old MRP product. You will now be able to use planning optimization in December. And finally, any items that have step consumption. All 3 of these are slotted for GA in December of 2025. Another new feature that is coming is the ability to calculate prices and discounts. And you may be thinking, well, what's new about this feature? The biggest thing with this feature is with the new unified pricing management in D365, you can now get accurate pricing and discount information without having to create sales orders. So previously, unified pricing was great, but you still had to create a sales order in order to get that. Now, we don't need to create a sales order. We don't need to go in and fake a sales order to get this information. This is going to allow us to streamline quoting, speed up our customer responses, and allow for integration of pricing calculations from D365 into external systems. So if you want to take your pricing information from D365, take it over to your CRM or your CE system, this unified pricing management allows you to do that. All you have to do in unified pricing management, provide the product, the quantity, and the customer details, all the information that's available in our trade agreements, and that's going to trigger the pricing and discount calculations for us. So pretty exciting feature coming with the calculate prices and discounts. Finally, rounding out the top 10 for my favorite new features, warehouse management improvements. So warehouse management in D365, we're always continuously upgrading and updating new and cool features within here. I'm going to skip the first one for now and come back to it, but I wanted to make sure that everyone is aware there is a new warehouse app. It is version 4.0. You do have to, there's a few sites that you have to jump through to get the newest application, especially on your Windows machines. can't remember if it's updated on iOS or Android quite yet, but the new warehouse app is available to us. With the new warehouse app, we have enhanced or improved performance, I should say. There's a good article out there that I was reading, and I'll find it here. I don't think I wrote it down, but just the painstaking efforts that Microsoft took to shave milliseconds of time off of our scanning operations has resulted in dramatic performance improvements on this. You also get better customer support capabilities because of some of the changes to the internal frameworks. This is a future-ready architecture. They've moved off of Xamarin and they moved into a better future-ready architecture for creating this application. There's camera improvements that allow for better scanning. You also get new customizable themes and an enhanced audio experience. This went into GA in June of 2025, so this is one that you can actually try right now if you really wanted to. All right, let's go back. So another warehouse improvement that we're going to see is the support for wrist-mounted scanners. So there are wrist-mounted scanners that are going to be available or that are on the marketplace right now. The warehouse app will include support for those wrist-mounted scanners coming as a preview in March of 2026. And then you do have the ability now, starting with a preview in January of 2026, to integrate your warehouse management with external labor systems. So you can take clock in, clock out details. You can take all of the labor metrics that we are tracking in warehouse, and you have the ability to export them to your labor management systems in the future. So those are my top 10 favorite new features coming in finance and supply chain management. I would be remiss if I didn't include a couple of honorable mentions, and I mentioned something that we were going to talk about this real quickly. So in D365 Finance, we did talk a little bit about this new journal, ledger journal framework. This is going to allow for voucher level posting, background posting, as well as an enhanced audit trail. It's really the next iteration of the general ledger within D365. Originally, it was supposed to be targeted towards wave 1 of 2025, then wave 2, and then it was taken off. So just be aware that sometime in the near future here, there is a new ledger journal framework coming out. This is going to be a big change, and it's not going to be a mandatory change. So you can still use your existing general ledger, but something to keep an eye on in the future. Probably have more information in 2026 Wave 1 release on that one. And then on the supply chain side of things, if you happen to look at the information that Microsoft put out there on supply chain for the Wave 2 release, there was a big section at the beginning about the data quality agent. And if you go searching for it, there's nothing really available on it. And that's because this feature has also been pulled from Wave 2. It's been delayed, likely looking at 2026 Wave 1 at the moment. But this is a really powerful agent, especially for a lot of our manufacturing customers. So if you are in manufacturing, you probably have a recurring issue where all of a sudden your route times are maybe not exactly how long it is taking to manufacture an item. Lead times are not exactly what you have entered in the system. And it's a manual process, right? You have to go in and you have to manually update your route times. You have to manually update your lead times, all of that information. Well, this data quality agent that is coming will allow us to basically take some of those external signals. So we can take our tack times, we can take the information from our machines, and it will automatically present it to us in a, hey, you should update this route time, or you should update this lead time, because traditionally we have not met those particular metrics. So really powerful agent. Again, I was disappointed it's not coming in Wave 2 like the feature video has, but I did confirm that it did get pushed out of Wave 2, so likely looking at Wave 1. Don't hold me on that, but hopefully looking at 2026 Wave 1. All right, a lot of information there. Any questions? Actually, before I do that, I do have a whole list of resources, and we will make sure that everyone gets access to this. All of the release plans, the new features in finance, new features in supply chain, the release plans themselves, so you can see the full product roadmap. One little plug here, Leverage, which is our sister product, does have a new release available, and I've included that link in here as well. And then finally, just a plug for the finance and supply chain management in focus. This is a monthly recurring series where we talk about some of these features in depth a little bit more, show you how to use them, show you how to get them set up, and yeah, hopefully get you using some of these cool new features. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions. But otherwise, I want to thank you all for tuning in today, and hope you have a pleasant rest of your week.